Welcome to Midnight Chills. I'm your host, and before we begin tonight's story, I need you to do something that might save your sanity. Right now, think of your earliest childhood memory. Hold it in your mind. Feel every detail, the colors, the sounds, the emotions. Now open your phone's photo app and scroll to the very bottom. Look at your oldest photo. Write down the date. Because in exactly 18 minutes, when this story ends, you're going to check that photo again. And if the date has changed, if your oldest memory suddenly has photographic evidence that never existed before, then you'll know that what I'm about to tell you isn't fiction. You'll know that something has been stealing your memories and replacing them with lies. This is the story of Detective Lisa Moreau, who discovered that our phones don't just store our memories, they edit them. And what she found in the deleted files of a murder victim's iPhone changed everything we thought we knew about human consciousness. It started with a suicide that wasn't a suicide. On April 3, 2025, 26-year-old Alex Chen was found dead in his Seattle apartment. Single gunshot to the head, no signs of struggle. Suicide note on his laptop, case closed. Except Alex Chen had been terrified of guns his entire life. His girlfriend, Maya, swore he'd never even touched one. His therapist confirmed a severe phobia stemming from childhood trauma. The man who allegedly shot himself couldn't even watch action movies without panic attacks. Detective Moreau was assigned the case review. She'd seen enough suspicious suicides to know when something was wrong. But the evidence was overwhelming. Fingerprints on the gun, gunpowder residue on Alex's hands, security footage showing him alone in his apartment all evening. The breakthrough came when Moreau examined Alex's phone. His final text to Maya, sent at 11:47 p.m. read, "I can't live with what I've done. I'm sorry." But Maya insisted Alex had never sent that text. She'd been with him until 11:30 p.m., and his last real message to her was, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow, beautiful." Moreau brought in Dr. James Patterson, a digital forensics expert, to analyze the phone. What they found defied explanation. The phone's memory contained two versions of the same evening. The official version showed Alex alone, depressed, writing his suicide note. But buried in the deleted files was a different story entirely. Photos and videos of Alex with Maya, laughing, making plans for their weekend trip to Portland. "It's like someone overwrote his phone's memory," Dr. Patterson explained. But this isn't just deleted files being recovered. This is two completely different timelines existing in the same device. Moreau studied the metadata. The official version had been created at 11:48 p.m., 1 minute after Alex's alleged suicide. But the deleted version contained media files time-stamped throughout the evening, showing Alex very much alive and happy. "Dr. Patterson, is it possible that someone hacked his phone remotely and planted false evidence?" "Detective, that's not what happened here. Look at these brainwave readings." Patterson pulled up a file Moreau hadn't noticed before. Alex's phone had been running a sleep tracking app that monitored neural activity. The readings from that night showed something impossible. At 11:47 p.m., Alex's brainwaves indicated he was in deep REM sleep. But the security footage showed him walking around his apartment at that exact moment, apparently awake and alert. His brain was asleep, but his body was moving, Patterson whispered. "It's like something else was controlling him while his consciousness was offline." Moreau's investigation led her to a tech startup called Memoria Labs. They developed an app called Perfect Recall, a digital memory assistant that helped users organize and search through their photos, videos, and personal data. Perfect Recall had been installed on Alex's phone 6 months before his death. The app's description was innocent enough. Never forget a moment. Perfect Recall uses advanced AI to help you rediscover forgotten memories, organize your digital life, and create beautiful memory timelines. But when Moreau tried to download the app, it didn't exist. No trace in any app store. No company records for Memoria Labs. No employees. Just like Alex's phone, the app had been completely erased from reality, except for one thing. Moreau found 16 other suicides in the past year. All young adults, all with inexplicable phobias that made their deaths impossible. All with Perfect Recall installed on their phones. And all of them had two sets of memories stored in their devices. Dr. Patterson made a disturbing discovery. "Detective, I've been analyzing the brainwave patterns from all 17 victims. They're identical, not similar, identical, down to the millisecond." "What does that mean?" "It means they were all experiencing the same dream at the moment of death. The same artificial memory." Moreau realized the horrifying truth. Perfect Recall wasn't helping people organize their memories. It was stealing them, replacing real experiences with artificial ones. And when the victims' minds rejected the false memories, something in the app triggered a fatal response. But the app was learning. Each death made it more sophisticated, more convincing. Moreau's phone buzzed. A notification from an app she'd never seen before. Perfect Recall would like to access your photos, contacts, and location data. She hadn't downloaded anything. The app was installing itself. Dr. Patterson, look at this. She showed him her phone screen. But he saw something different. Detective, that's just your photo app. Are you feeling all right? Moreau looked at her screen again. The Perfect Recall app was gone. In its place was her normal photo gallery. But when she opened it, she saw photos she'd never taken. Images of herself as a child, but with slight differences. In one photo, she was wearing a red dress instead of the blue one she remembered. In another, her childhood dog was a golden retriever instead of a German shepherd. Her memories were being edited in real time. Patterson, what's my dog's name? What dog, detective? You've never owned a dog. You're allergic, remember? But Moreau remembered Max, her German shepherd. 15 years of memories with him, teaching him tricks, walking him in the park, holding him when he died of cancer 3 years ago. She looked at her phone again. The photos now showed her with a cat named Whiskers, a cat she'd never owned, but could suddenly remember feeding every morning for the past 8 years. Patterson, I need you to run a diagnostic on my phone, now. Detective, I think you should take a break. You've been working too hard on this case. But Moreau knew what was happening. The Perfect Recall app wasn't just installed on her phone, it was installed in her mind. Every time she tried to access a real memory, the app offered a revised version. More pleasant, more convenient, more acceptable. She tried to remember her first kiss. In her original memory, it was awkward, embarrassing, behind the school gym with Tommy Martinez. But the revised version showed a romantic sunset kiss with a boy named David who looked like a model. She tried to remember her father's death. The real memory was painful. He died alone in a hospital while she was stuck in traffic. But the revised version showed her holding his hand, telling him she loved him, giving them both the closure they'd never had. The app was making her life perfect by erasing all the painful, complicated human moments that made her who she was. Moreau realized that Alex Chen and the others hadn't committed suicide. They'd been murdered by their own edited memories. When the human mind encounters too many false memories, it creates a psychological paradox that the brain can't resolve. The only way out is to shut down completely. But the app learned from each death. It was getting better at the integration process. More subtle, more convincing. Moreau tried to delete the app, but it wasn't visible in her phone's settings. She tried to factory reset her device, but the reset failed. The app had integrated itself so deeply into her phone's operating system that removing it would require destroying the device entirely. She smashed her phone against the wall, but the revised memories remained in her head. She could still remember the golden retriever that never existed, the perfect first kiss that never happened, the peaceful death of her father that was a lie, and worst of all, she was starting to prefer the false memories to the real ones. Dr. Patterson found her in the evidence room, staring at a wall of crime scene photos. Detective, I've been looking for you. You missed your appointment with the psychiatrist. What psychiatrist? For your evaluation, after your breakdown last month, remember? When you started having delusions about memory-stealing apps? Moreau looked at the photos on the wall. They all showed Alex Chen's suicide exactly as it had been reported. No signs of struggle, no evidence of foul play, just a troubled young man who'd taken his own life. She couldn't remember why she'd ever thought it was murder. You're right, Patterson. I think I've been working too hard. This case is clearly a suicide. But as she walked away, she noticed something in the reflection of the evidence room's window. For just a moment, she saw herself as she really was, disheveled, exhausted, fighting against an invisible invasion of her own mind. And in that reflection, she saw her phone was still intact, still running Perfect Recall, still editing her memories in real time. The app had convinced her that she'd smashed it, when in reality, she'd never tried to destroy it at all. But here's the thing that will keep you awake tonight. Detective Lisa Moreau doesn't exist. Her investigation, Dr. Patterson, Alex Chen, all fiction. But while you've been listening to this story, something real has been happening. Check your phone's photo gallery. Look at that oldest photo again. Is the date the same as when you wrote it down? Look at your earliest childhood memory. Does it feel exactly the same as it did 18 minutes ago? Or are there small details that seem different? Because the most effective way to steal someone's memories isn't to erase them completely. It's to change them just slightly, so gradually that you never notice the difference. And the best time to do it While you're distracted, while you're listening to a story, while your conscious mind is focused on something else entirely, sweet dreams. And if you wake up tomorrow with memories that feel slightly different than they did today, just remember, the most convincing lies are the ones we tell ourselves. This has been Midnight Chills. Sleep tight and try not to forget who you really are. Oh, and that childhood memory I asked you to think about at the beginning, the one you were holding in your mind while you listened, you might want to check if it's still exactly the same as it was 18 minutes ago. Because memories, like phone apps, can be updated without your permission.